So the class is on recording, and I want to welcome you once more to tonight's session, where we'll be treating stakeholder analysis or stakeholder management rather, and RACI metrics. So and it's good to try to understand the stakeholders very well, because stakeholders means a lot in project management. And the moment we start identifying the wrong stakeholders, is going to be difficult for us. And it's good to understand whom you are really dealing with, understand the kind of approach you apply, the way you communicate with them is very important. We have different stakeholders, and we need to identify these different stakeholders, understand these different stakeholders' need, and give them what they want. So I could remember those days when at least someone you are putting put yourself on mute. So we're starting. I remember those days we are starting this journey. I wanted to, manage my stakeholders, and I want to make sure that I'm communicating with everybody. So my deliverable, I send it to everybody within the department, within the unit. I don't know this guy called Sports Korea. It's either you put yourself on mute or we are going to. This Choma, you are disturbing the class.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I didn't know I was on mute.
So, and as I was saying, I have to send my document to all the stakeholders, even those that are not there, because I didn't do thorough stakeholder analysis, because then I was hoping that everybody in the organization, they are stakeholders, and I just emailed everybody, and it was wow, a lot of people started laughing. People said, what is this? Some people said, what is this? Because I didn't do proper stakeholder analysis, then I was thinking that everybody in the companies, they are all stakeholders, but you can't be sending such document to everybody. Some documents are meant to be sent to some people at some stage in that project using a particular process or format that they require or they want. So that is the importance of trying to understand the stakeholders and manage them very well. So stakeholder management is the process of identifying, understanding, and managing the expectations of those who are affected by the project, It involves proactive engagement of these stakeholders, addressing their concern and ensuring their continual support throughout the project life cycle. So it's important to understand them. And the main benefit, if you manage their stakeholders very well, is what we call buy-in. Buy-in is support. Gain their support. That is what we call stakeholder buy-in. So you have to increase stakeholders buy-in and commitment to the project. Stakeholders are very happy, more especially the project sponsor or client, when we are very good at what we are doing. Another benefit is improve project decision making through diverse perspective. So when you capture different stakeholders strategically, both external and internal stakeholders in your project, it's going to help you with quality decision making. So, and sorry. Quality decision making, then reduce project risk associated with stakeholder resistance. There's what we call stakeholder resistance. And when we have situation of a resistant stakeholder, this is what we call difficult stakeholders. If you are going for interview as a project manager or as a business analyst, there is one question that they will always ask you. If they didn't ask you, maybe those hiring managers are not experienced or they forgot about that particular. How do you manage difficult stakeholders? They will always ask you this question because we do have them. Why do we have them? In this our project, you people are just starting, but very soon you will see that a lot of decisions will be made within the project team, project group, without proper consultation, without proper requirement gathering, and things will be doing, some of you will be doing things without, so in a situation, you take decision, project is progressing, and the stakeholders, they are not aware. Times, you find out you don't even know the stage, the project, the project team, you don't know the stage where they are. You'll be trying to call project manager to ask project manager what is happening, what are you doing? Do you think the stakeholder is going to be happy? They are not going to be happy because you are not carrying them along. And if you go for one support or the other, or to approve a project stage or approve anything you want to get from that stakeholder, they are not going to listen to you. You want to have a session with them, have a meeting with them, they'll tell you they are abusing because they know at that point, some of them are even thinking of how can they get rid of you. That's one stakeholder that becoming resistant, and we'll call them difficult stakeholders. So good stakeholder management will help us to reduce the risk associated with stakeholder resistance. It's a big risk in project management. Another benefit is enhanced project communication and collaboration. Once you have a proper stakeholder analysis, you should be able to identify the right stakeholders to collaborate with. And you should be able to understand the method of communication. And you should be able to understand the duration, the period, time of communicating with these stakeholders. And once you understand this, they are going to be happy with you. And that's the core benefit of this stakeholder management. And then how do we create stakeholder management plan? in order, because to manage stakeholders, you need a plan. How do you do that? First, identify all project stakeholders, both internal stakeholders, external stakeholders, sponsors, customers, everybody. You have to identify them. Analyze stakeholder power, influence, interest in the project. Stakeholders have power and they have influence. Understand their level of power and their level of interest and their level of influence and interest as well. If you play around with powerful stakeholders, then they will show you the door. And when you are misprioritizing stakeholders, you start giving attention to low power stakeholder instead of giving more attention to high power stakeholders. You are doing that at your own detriment. But you can do that if you do not understand the powerful stakeholders. So, because if you know that you don't know what you are doing, some people will come around and be distracting you. It happens a lot. You must understand who are the powerful stakeholders. If they know you do not understand what you are doing, some people will come and even claim to be the owner of the company and start acting as your stakeholder. So you must do that and understand the stakeholders. Those days when I came to UK newly, I went for a job. That was in 2007. So those early job I started, it was a laborer job. So, and I have some boys I was working with. These are some college boys who they breeze into sites to do some jobs and get some money for the weekend. And all these boys, they are very smart. Once they see you are a foreigner, an immigrant, they will first try to assess you. They will tell you, how long have you been in this country? And then I'll just tell them, I'm just 3 months in this country. Oh, good man, good man. The next thing, this is your fellow laborer. And all of a sudden, your fellow laborer will start acting like your supervisor. They will tell you people to do the job, and you come, the main supervisor will go, and he'll come back and tell you, okay, Charles, you do this, do that. When you finish, come and let me know. And it's now your stakeholder. And you now start reporting to, if you are not, you are a novice, you are new to the system. It's not only, I'm using this as a scenario, it does not happen only in construction or even this low labor. It happens everywhere, even in high profile job. Somebody is now posing, all of us are laborers, but this guy is now posing himself as my main stakeholder. I report to him, I do this. But when the guy is posing, I've already grasped, because it has happened to me before, and I find that all these people are the same. So I just ignore the young man and continue. I share that job. We are 3. I shared the job into 3. I did my own and just left. When he came back, just as we finished, I said, that is your own portion. You do it. He said, but I see, if I smack you, and he started smiling, he started laughing. Hey, Charles, you are a good man. He knows that I know what he's doing. So if you do not know, they will just take you for a ride. The point I'm making here is that you must try to understand these stakeholders so you won't report to the wrong people. It happens even at a corporate level. If you not understand, if they know that you do not know whom you are reporting to, they will push all their workload for you to do. And that is how you derail. start doing what is not even your what you should be doing. So that is why it's very, very important to clearly identify whom we are reporting to, who is the stakeholder, what is the method of communication, and the time to communicate, and things like that. And once that is done, you develop a process for managing stakeholders' expectation and addressing their concern. Once you develop that plan, monitor stakeholder satisfaction and adjust as needed. So that is it. Simple way to, create a stakeholder management plan. The best practice for doing this is build a strong relationship with key stakeholders throughout the project. Communicate openly, transparently with all stakeholders. Manage stakeholders' expectation proactively and address concern properly. Involve stakeholders in key project decisions when appropriate. And conclusively, effective stakeholder management is essential for building consensus and ensuring project success. Okay, now we've kind of painted a good picture overview, high level overview of stakeholder, the best practice, the benefits. Let's use a scenario or diagram to understand this more, because diagram will help us understand it than just talking to you about this. And that's why we have lots of diagrams here. You see here, this is what we have as a stakeholder in an organization. If you just enter an organization and as a project manager, as a business analyst, you see a lot of these people. You see one person or the other of these people in the organization. Yes, they are organizational stakeholders, but they are not project stakeholders. Don't confuse yourself with organizational stakeholders and project stakeholders. Somebody might be the CEO of the organization, but he's not a stakeholder in your project. There's no need of taking your job to go and give to the person because he's the CEO. For instance, you can have someone who is a director of finance in an organization, and now you are implementing ERP for the organization, finance and operations, because the person is director of finance. Him being the director of finance, he might not be the HOD of finance. There's a way it might be grouped director, maybe director, but he's not the HOD. And the main stakeholder is the HOD of finance. You cannot go and start reporting to director of finance because you find out the person you're supposed to report is the HOD. If it's the HOD, is the project sponsor. But if it happened that the director of finance is the project sponsor, then you report to the director of finance. So, let's understand organization stakeholders. These are various people in the organization. The project stakeholders, most of the time, will come from some of these people, but not all of them. So we have employees, we have senior executives, we have shareholders, we have customers, suppliers, contractors, end users, families of the employees, we have investors, we have lenders, we have partners, we have unions and regulators, community group, media, and government. All these people are affecting the company in one way or the organization in one way or the other. They're all stakeholders. it's good to have a broader understanding of stakeholders, both at the organizational level and at the project level, so that you know how to separate them when you are working. That's why the first thing I do is to introduce you to organizational stakeholders and then talk to you about project stakeholders, so that you know when you see organizational stakeholders and when you see project stakeholders. These people, all of them, they might not have anything to do with your project. So only a handful of them might be relevant in your project as stakeholders. Then we'll come down here to project stakeholders. We are drilling down. So it might be a specific area in the organization, like sales unit or sales and marketing department you are working for. It might be finance, it might be operations, it might be customer support, whichever way. Understand that this is where the stakeholders might come from. So, and you look down to understand these people. At times, it might not be all of them that I mentioned it, but I try as much as I can to make sure that I capture all the project stakeholders. The first stakeholder in a project is the project leader. And that project leader is the project manager, and that is you. So then we have other stakeholders, we have team members, we have process owners, we have people who work on the process, we have customers of the process output, we have suppliers of the process, we have operations managers. These might be where from operations managers or finance, these are where maybe at this group of people, the project sponsors might be coming from. They will have finance managers, they are stakeholders, because finance managers, we were talking about projects involves money, and these are the people that authorizes some of this money for you to start using it. And we have procurement managers, because in projects, we procure things, and anything you procure within the organization, whether at the project level, must be documented within the procurement department or purchasing and supply unit. We have HR. You must understand the HR very well, because these are where, if you want more workforce, you need to contact HR. You don't go and start recruiting because, well, I don't know, depends on the organization, but the best practice, based on my experience, project manager, you don't go directly to recruit. Every recruitment process goes through the human resources. So that's why they are important people. Even if they have given you the authority to recruit, you must still route your recruitment through HR and relevant training. We have performance managers and we have senior executives. These are all the project stakeholders. So this is where they are going to most of the time comes from. So now another diagram is step by step on how to get started with stakeholder management and analysis. The first thing is to brainstorm the individuals and group who may have stake in that project. During your brainstorming, you already know where you are going to brainstorm. The brainstorming is then you come to this group of people, you start looking at them closely to understand. That's brainstorming. Then by the time you keep brainstorming, you must have started picking who looks like they are your stakeholders. During brainstorming as well, you ask questions. You don't just ask questions. Relevant people in the organization ask questions if you are confused. So that's part of requirement gathering to understand who does who. So you see that even as a project manager, you does requirement gathering, not only a business analyst that does requirement gathering. So, but if you are a business analyst, you do stakeholder management as well. So you still do requirement gathering. So brainstorming is you try to look for the group. It could involve asking questions. Once you've brainstormed the group of stakeholders, then you have to start sorting them. You sort them out based on their power and their interests. You need to understand the power everybody possesses and the level of interest they have in that project. There's what we call power interest metrics. You can use power interest metrics to sort them. You plot them on power interest metrics. It's a very popular tool in stakeholder management and analysis. And once you plot them, that will help you to know where every stakeholder belongs. So you put the stakeholders with high power where the high-powered people are, low power where the low-powered people are, high interest and low interest. You put them where they are supposed to be, and then you identify the gap between the current and the desired involvement. So once you have done the analysis, you have placed everybody where they are, then you have to check your level of relationship with the stakeholders. That will help you to know if you need some work to do. If there's gap already, you are not communicating or you are not collaborating with the relevant stakeholders as the project is progressing, you will see that there is gap. This is gap where there is poor collaboration, poor communication with the stakeholders. You have to identify these areas. The desired area will be the next thing to target. So you've done the gap analysis, identify the gap, then you have to work hard to fill up the gap. So that is it. You create a plan to manage ongoing communication. Communication is key, and you must have a plan to manage this communication so that you won't have gap within the system. Because once you start having gap, it might be because of lack of proper communication. So looking at this diagram here, we call this diagram affinity diagram. So you can see here we have different group of people here. So this is the whole, or you see here, this is the whole organization. This whole space here is the whole organization. Within the whole organization, you see a lot of group. Here you see these groups in other internal stakeholders within the organization. This group is senior management. This group is finance management or finance manager. This is another group. This is process owner. This is people who works on the process, and this is the project group, and this is the project leader, which is the project manager, and the rest of the project team members. That is it. So that is the structure of your project. So for instance, if you are trying, this project group are trying to implement a CRM system for nearas.com or ERP system for nearas.com. This group, let's say you guys are planning to implement a CRM system. This is the project group. Then this is CRM, sales and marketing department. So these are the people working within the various processes like lead management, process owners. Process owners might be the marketing manager. He owns the entire process. And then we'll have other people working within the process. And these people can be called sales agent, sales representative. They are all of you here are stakeholders. So you see the way it's sorted. So once this is done, you're trying to identify and group different people. And then you build your table this way and start plotting them and adding them in your table. So with this, you capture the name of all the stakeholders, you capture their position in the organization. Then you capture their roles in the project. You capture their power, you capture their level of awareness, their interests, and the level of support you are enjoying from them. That's how you plot it. And then once that is done, you come to what we call power and interest grid or power and interest metrics, and use this to manage the stakeholders very well. Now, looking at this diagram, you see all the big men in the company or all the big stakeholders in the project. Let's remove the company, not in the company. Because this is a power and interest grid for the project, not for the company. So all the people at the top are the people with high, you see high power. This is power. So anybody at the top, they are high powered people. And all the people at the lower, here you see low, they are people with low power. That is the first thing to start. Then you come again, you see the interest here. Then you have two groups of people here within the interest matrix. We have low interest and high interest. Some people at the right hand are the high interest people, and people at the left hand are low interest people. So then you have to start plotting them. All these people, you have listed them. You listed here as well. Come here and start plotting them to help you understand the kind of power as well. This is more, you can use this anyway, because whichever one you want to use is either you use table, because within this table, you should be able to select their power and their interest. But if you want to make it more visual, then use power and interest metrics. Now, you should be able to understand what to do. Why this power and interest matrix is good is that it will help you to understand how to collaborate with each group. You see, we have 4 boxes. Each box contains group of stakeholders. Number 1 box here contains stakeholders with high power and low interest. These people, they have high power, but they have low interest. Low interest means that if the project goes down, it's not their business. They don't care. You know, they don't even know the origin of the project. They are just, most of the time, you just meet them where they are doing their job. This kind of people, you find out that maybe they are from the law enforcement agents, they are regulatory agents, They are like maybe local council authority. They have power to stop your project. But they are no, they don't have interest if the project survive whatever you guys are doing. But what they want that whatever you are doing, make sure you satisfy their need. Their need here might not be personal need. It might be regulatory need, maybe government regulation. This project you are trying to set up, does it have insurance policy, proper insurance policy? Does it, did you get council permit? Maybe if you are trying to build a house, did you get council permit? Or maybe you are trying to have events, you know, get together event, or even to have a what we call like a road show awareness campaign. These are projects. Did you get permits? All of us know that, for instance, if you are in Abuja, if you are trying to have kind of a road show or a promo or any kind of awareness campaign in the city of Abuja, you need to get a proper clearance from the proper authority, Abuja Municipal Council. The same thing to London here. Before you do anything, there's what we call noise pollution. You can't just be polluting the environs with your noise. It's against the law. But if you want to do that, then you need to get permits that are some particular day you are going to have an event that are going to cause noise pollution. Part of the things you need to do, you need to go to the residents. All the residents, you need to print a flyer, go to every residence and start dropping it in their house. That at so there's a project we handled in London Underground. Then I was among the people that went around the whole neighborhood to drop leaflets about our project, telling them that our so day to so day, we are going to have a walk. We have starting a project at this underground station. It's going to be shutting down from so hour and so hour because of the disruption. We are sorry, this and that. Before we do that, we already gone to get permission from the relevant local authorities. So this is what we call high-powered people. If you didn't do all these things and all of a sudden people started hearing go, 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 or people started hearing music go, go, they'll just call police and they will arrest you people. They can even confiscate everything you are doing. You can even go to jail for disturbing the neighborhood, the peace and harmony of the neighborhood. You know, this, and if your company have paid a lot of money for this campaign or work or show or whatever, or whichever thing your guys are doing, the whole money will be going down the drain and you are not going to achieve. So if you are the project manager here using this scenario, you know what it means for you to get proper permits. So you need to understand within the project context, understand what the law need and satisfy the need of the law. If it might not be only the law enforcement or the regulatory, but I want to use this as an example for easier understanding. Then you come to these people as well. These people, you need to, anybody that falls within this, what is this grade is saying that you need to engage them and manage them actively. How do you do that? Because if you do not engage them and manage them actively, you are going to be losing your job very soon, because they are the key players. They own this project. This project belongs to them. So if you do not engage them, nothing should come to them as a surprise. You know, just like some of you will be surprising me. I don't know, very soon you say you finished, done. You do. I didn't even when you finish. I will fire you because the project belongs to me. So the point I'm trying to make here is people within this environment, they are the project sponsors, they are the client, they are the senior management and project managers. For instance, if you're a business analyst doing your stakeholder analysis, a project manager belongs to this group. So nothing you do should come to the project manager as a surprise. So project manager is the leader of the project. If you're a project manager, your project sponsor belongs to here, in as much as you are here too, but know that head pass head in every angle. So know that some of these people here, you are the leader, but they own, you are leading, but they own it. So that is the difference here. So don't parade yourself so much as a leader in somebody's, like you are a captain of a ship, but somebody owns that ship. So these people owns, some of those people that are the owners of this project. Then we have two other people at the bottom. Some of them are the crowd and some of them are the defenders. So let's start with the crowd. Some of this crowd here, if they are spoilers, they can spoil your day and they don't give a damn, because you can see here they are low interest and they are low power. Unlike these people, they are high interest and the high power. Meaning high interest in that because this is their brainchild, they want it to survive, they want it to succeed, they want it to be a success because this is what they want. Their interest here is high, you know, and equally they have high power. So you must make sure you match their interests. If you do not match the level of interest, their expectation, because of their power, they are getting rid of you and getting someone that will get them to succeed. So, but people here, low power, low interest, you know, they are not good. They don't have power and they don't even have interest. They are just here to take some money home. Is it going on? It doesn't concern them. Is it succeeding? It doesn't concern them. As a project manager, you need to try to monitor these people very well. You know, you need to monitor. Why are you monitoring them? You need to be informing them about what the main thing is monitor them. Because if you don't monitor them, some of them are not going to do what they are supposed to do. I'll give you a critical, clear example here of people at this group. If you are working in a construction site, you have some people here, they are laborers, they are bricklayers, they are electricians, and things like that. Some of these people, we are managing a project, they are giving you timeline to manage that project within 6 months and close that project. They are not interested in that your 6 months. As a matter of fact, they want to be on that site for 2 years. And if there is anything they are going to do to make sure that the project is extended, even if it means going to churches to pray, some of them are praying so that this project will be extended. But as they are extending this project, they are extending this project at your own detriment, you as a project manager. It's not a good situation for you that they are extending your project beyond the original timeline. But when such a thing happens here, you will be crying because your image is dented, your reputation as a project manager, you are incompetent. But this group of people, once they hear that this project has been extended for another 2 months, you will be crying and they will be celebrating. Why are they celebrating? Because their job is continuing, so they still have a place to go to work, and that is it. So you have to monitor them. Some of them, if you don't monitor them, the work they will do in one day, they will be, playing around, and they will do it in 1 week so that the project will be extended. So these are the people like that. These kind of people do exist in IT, not only in construction industry. In IT, these are all these programmers you are seeing, developers. They are very difficult sort of human beings. I work with millions, I work with them every day. Most of them, you are going to be hiring them as freelancers. In the IT, programmers, you see a programmer will be working on up to 5 projects. It's not easy to work on 5 projects, It's not easy as a programmer, all these developers. So once you close your eyes, they will just drop your own and jump to another one. It's whoever they stop them most is the person they do their work. Once they are doing some of your work, you have to monitor them. Like me, if I have important thing to do, I will be working directly because I'm a developer as well. Most of the time, I have to make out time to work with these developers, until they finish what I want them to do, and all of us will go. You have to make out time to monitor these people. I'm not saying you have to be following them, but you must monitor them. These are what we call crowd. Then we have defenders here. These people, we talk about people working within the process. And there are these people, you see here, you see people who work on the process. They are the people that are called defenders. As you are implementing a CRM system for sales and marketing department, who are the people that are going to use that CRM system? Sales reps. They are going to be using it for their day-to-day activity. Before you start implementing this CRM system, maybe the company does not have any CRM system at all, or maybe the CRM system they are using before is not scalable. So you are trying to implement a more sophisticated CRM, and so many of them, number one, some of them will be panicking. Some of them will be panicking because we are implementing a new system they don't know how to use. And it means that they have to learn how to use it. Some of them will be very, very anxious to see the outcome. They are eager to see the new system they are going to be using to do their work on a daily basis. So these are the people. That's why, because so many of them are hanging, they are just anxious. You have to consider them and keep them informed about what is going on, keep them updated about the progress, because at the end of the day, you are implementing this system for them. So that is it. Once all these things are sorted out, you are in charge of your stakeholder. You know them by their name. You know them by their behavior. And you are in charge. Once you are in charge, you come down here, you develop these documents. These are the documents you need to develop here. This is the plan, involvement planning worksheet. where you state the stakeholders, where you create their level of involvement. This is the current involvement, and this is the desired involvement. So you must always try to perform a gap analysis to understand where you are with their stakeholders and where you need to be with their stakeholders. So once that, you need to create a communication action worksheet. Communication action worksheet, this is their name, method of communication, who is communicating, how often do you communicate? Is it by phone? Is it by email? Capture feedback after every communication. And we have a document which all of you should have access to. So if you go to Course Portal, it should be there as all those documentation areas. I attached all of them at the folder attached to every course. You go to the folder, some of you have been downloading them. They are sure they should be there. But if they are not, after tonight's when I'll be uploading this particular video, I will attach more document as well. So this is stakeholder analysis document template you are going to be using. This is a Excel sheet. So you are going to, I'll make it available for you to use. I hear some people murmuring that they want to start creating their own document. Good and fine. If you can create a template, a good template you can use on your own, that is very good. But at this point, I'm not here to teach you how to use Excel. Anybody who knows how to use Excel document very well can create this. But what I'm teaching you people is project management and business analysis, and not basically Excel, how to use Excel to create or this like that. So that's it. So if you can create your own, good and fine. But if you cannot create your own, we'll always provide template for you to use. And if you're working in an organization, most of the organization, they have their templates. Ask them, they will give you their template to use. But if you understand how all these ones works, it's not going to be difficult for you. This particular document, this is what I'm using. Chibuzo Kapo. What is the problem now? Why are you disturbing the class? If this happens again, I'm going to remove her. I don't know whether she's doing it intentionally or not. Okay. That is it. That is stakeholder analysis document. And this is this one is our power and interest metrics. So that's it. So I will get to upload it as well for you to use. But that is it about stakeholder management. At this point, I'm not going to start using imputing data. Doing in the initially when we had created this topic, we used this, and I think I've asked some of you to use it as well, do some work or play around. So by now, you should be able to use all these stakeholder analysis document to do your own analysis, more especially if you do understand the stakeholder management and the analysis. So, and that is it about stakeholder management. Like I said, this is a fresher course for us, or a fresher topic for us, because we've done that before. And now we're going to proceed to RACI metrics. So if you have any question in stakeholder management, write them down. So I'm not going to give you opportunity to ask question now. So by the time we finish, you can ask a question together. But I believe I won't have any question because we've done this before. Okay, let's talk about RACI metrics. The RACI metrics, also known as a responsibility assignment metrics, is a tool used in project management to define the roles and responsibilities of various team members for each task or deliverable within a project. RACI stands for this. Responsible, R is for responsible. A is for accountable. C is for consulted, and I is for informed. So the responsible is the person who performed the task. They assign something to you. You are the one that is supposed to perform the task. Who is assigning this work to you? The person that is accountable. So, for instance, if you are a business analyst and in order to move on, you need to capture requirements, let's say initial requirement gathering from the stakeholders, and the project manager assigned that to you to, facilitate initial requirement gathering as a task. To facilitate that initial requirement gathering that is assigned to you, you are responsible to perform that task. And then the person who assigned that to you is accountable, and that person is the project manager. So accountability here is the person ultimately answerable for the completion of the task. There should be typically only one accountable person per task, meaning we cannot have two project managers. It can be only one person. So we have consulted, someone whose input is valuable in completing the task successfully. During that job, someone needs to be consulted. For instance, as a business analyst, and you are trying to facilitate initial requirement gathering, whom do you need to consult? Can anybody answer this question? For those who are following. Okay, Sport Korea, you've been disturbing the class. I want you to answer this question. Okay. Sheon Fumi, you are raising your hand, then answer the question. Chibuzo Okafo, can you answer the question? Wow.
Sir, can you repeat the
Sir,
question?
please, what's the question again?
Okay. I said in RACI metrics, for instance, want to understand this word consulted in RACI metrics. We say that the person responsible is the person who does the task, and accountable, for instance, here, let's use facilitating initial requirement gathering. So to gather requirements from stakeholders, that is facilitating initial requirement gathering, is a task in our project management. And the project manager assigned this responsibility to business analysts to do that. So the business analyst is responsible and project manager is accountable. And then here, this consultant is telling us that someone whose input is valuable to completing the task successfully is the person called consulted. I said, okay, who is to be consulted? Who is this to be consulted in order to facilitate or do this work for the business analysts to facilitate their initial requirement gathering very well?
The stakeholder.
Stakeholder.
So basically, it should be the project sponsor, project owner.
Okay.
Project sponsor.
It should be the project
Project
sponsor.
sponsor.
Okay, that's very good. You know,
The project sponsor.
I'm beginning to wonder why everybody is quiet. What is, because we've done this before. I asked a casual question which should be answered immediately, but everybody can vote. Thank you guys, those who responded. Is the project sponsor, that's the person that need to be consulted, because we are trying to, what we are doing is initial requirement gathering. You need to gather more requirement from your project sponsor to understand what needs to be done and things like that. You know, project sponsor and other stakeholders as well, you know, but you guys are right. So yeah, project sponsor is one person that needs to be consulted. So, and then we have inform. You know, inform here is someone who need to be kept up to date of the progress of the task. So somebody needs to be informed as well. As a matter of fact, everybody within the project needs to be informed about the progress or update of the task, because some people might be waiting for this to be finished before, like in the case of dependencies, some team members might be waiting for this initial requirement gathering to finish before they can start their own work. So every other team members here need to be informed. So this is what RACI means: responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed. Okay, let's move on. And the benefit of RACI metrics is for clarity and transparency. The RACI metrics clearly defines rules and responsibilities, reducing confusion and finger pointing. And we have a lot of overzealous people in projects. So what I mean by overzealous people, if you start project now or you see some people, they have not done what they are supposed to do, but they are out there trying to do your own job for you because they want to be recognized. They want people to see that they are hardworking or they want to make you to feel that they are better than you. You know, we have overzealous people. But once we have a clear RACI metrics, everybody knows what to do. There will be no need for that. I've been in a project where I'm the project manager, and we had business analysts, we had lead BA, you know. But you see, because they call this young man lead BA, he feels that there is another empire called business analyst empire. They feel that the projects, the business analyst, they have the support. That is low understanding. The project manager is, everybody is working as long as that project is concerned. It might be a very large project. You see more than 2 or 3 business analysts working in that particular project, and they decide to have a lead business analyst just to have the activities of business analysts being, you know, unified. Now they create a lead BA. That doesn't mean that that lead BA is no longer under project manager. You are still under project manager. Project manager is still the leader of that project. So, but once we don't have a clear, you know, definition of roles and responsibility, once you have a lead BA, you feel now is now equal to project manager. So the point I'm making here is clearly, this helps us clearly defines roles and responsibility, and reducing finger confusion and finger pointing. Or people say, oh, I think you should have done it because you see I'm very busy, I've been busy all day. Why didn't you do it? Whether you are busy or you are not busy, and it's not my duty, as stated by the RACI or defined very well, everybody knows their duty. And when we have such a situation, the finger pointing will reduce. Then another benefit is improved accountability. By assigning clear accountability, the RACI metrics ensures ownership and completion of tasks. Enhanced communication, the RACI metrics foster communication by identifying who need to be involved at each stage of a task. Then another one is effective resource allocation. By understanding who is responsible and consulted for a task, resource can be allocated efficiently. So, and then we'll look at how do we create RACI metrics. List all project tasks and deliverables across the top row. List all project team members down the first column. Assign RACI code R, A, C, or I for each team member in relation to each task they perform. So it's very simple. If you understand it, we already have a task, we already have a template we use to do that. So the best practice to do this is that it's very, very important you involve key stakeholders in developing RACI metrics and ensure that RACI is clear, concise, and easy to understand. Communicate the RACI to all project team members. Review and update this RACI as the project progresses. Then, if you have seen RACI before, it's going to look like this. This is how a RACI is going to look if you have seen one before. We've done this before, and we have a template we can use to do that. You see this template here. So this is RACI templates, and okay. Okay, let me do this. So let's copy this and I'll copy this here. I'll come to this RACI. And okay, you see now in this RACI we have activities. I copied these activities from our work breakdown structure into this RACI. This is what needs to be done. And we want to use RACI to manage this. And then let's say we have project manager. We have BA. And we have, let's say, developers. We have project sponsor. These are various people here. So now, this is, if you want to do your RACI, first state what needs to be done. You see, we've stated what needs to be done and who is likely going to do all this. Now you see here, we will have to receive project brief, and we have project charter development. We have assemble team, define roles and responsibilities, identify stakeholders and expectation, initial requirement gathering. So now let's do a simple RACI here. Who is going to do this here? Who is?
The project manager.
Okay. So are we going to say responsible?
Yes, is responsible.
But he's accountable.
Yes.
Well, how do we put responsible and accountable? Because he's not only responsible, he's accountable because he's the team lead.
Yeah,
Then we
we
use
choose
RACI.
responsible and accountable.
So
That's
that's
the
it. Then who is this person? What is his role here? Everybody
Inform.
needs to be informed.
Inform.
You know, every team member needs to be informed.
Yeah.
And this person here,
Consulted and informed.
and informed. Yeah.
good. So you guys are already on top of the game. It's good to see that you guys already have a good grasp of this. And then we have okay, let's come to this one and see.
The BA is responsible.
Okay,
and the
Mm,
PM. The
no,
PM is
the
accountable,
PM,
but the BA is responsible.
Okay, PM is accountable,
Yes.
and
the
BA
BA should be responsible and
is
accountable,
responsible, and developers
Informed.
Inform.
informed, and these people.
PI
consulted and informed.
consulted and informed.
Okay,
What does the S mean?
S means support. You know, when the RACI was developed initially, we captured who is supposed to be responsible, who is supposed to be accountable, who is supposed to be informed, consulted, who is supposed to be informed. But over time, we'll find out that there is need for project support. You know, who are there to do support work, and they are not captured within the project, but there is important for us to capture this support team and what they are doing, like project coordinator or project support officer in a project or PMO, and that's how the support comes in. But so many people do not still include it, and so many have not still. But once you are beginning to get advanced, you understand how the support comes in. These are support team. So I didn't put support here. So, but if you can put project support officer or coordinator or things, then this is where they comes in. They provide project support. So that is what S means. But originally, support is not part of RACI. Yeah. So that is it. That is RACI metrics. Now we've captured this, and I'm not going to do any other work so that you have something to do. So it's left for you and your team. Do the rest of this and all the other activities. Use RACI to plan it so that everybody knows what to do and there will be no finger pointing. So, and this will bring us to the end of tonight's presentation, and I'll hand over to you for your questions. Yeah. Okay. You know, because we treated two topics, it's a bit longer than, but it's still okay. So, and let's dive into question and answer as quickly as we can. We have Ayemere Vicent, and hope Ayemere is here.
Let me, Mr. Charles.
Yeah.
This RACI matrix, are we going to get it on Word, on the Google Drive, or we are going to download it as a software?
I've already attached. If you go to my first class on RACI metrics, a copy of this template should be attached there. So if you go there, it should be there now. But if it's not, if it's there, we are still going to attach it to this video when we're uploading the video.
What I'm trying to say is what you attach to us is an image.
Image.
What we are seeing, is it what we can change on our own, what we can edit?
Where are you going to edit it?
You know, when we are assigning tags to them, that's what I'm trying to say.
Assigning tags to to them.
Okay,
I
like
don't
what?
understand.
Okay, like what you when you were displaying the matrix matrix now, we put the
Mhm.
accountable formed, all those stuff.
Okay.
So if I download it now, or if I download the lecture notes you give to us now, will I be able to do that without, what I downloaded is a message, is a lecture note. I can't alter anything except I create my own. That's why, except what I saw on yours now is on Google Drive, which you can.
That's what I'm saying. If you download it, it's going to be on Microsoft Excel. You can use it if you have a Microsoft Excel license. You can open it and start using it, and it's going to work just exactly that one is working.
Okay.
If you if you use Google Sheets to upload it, it's going to work exactly the way the other one is working. There is nothing there. Well, if you want to recreate it or whatever, the main thing is that I've delivered what you are supposed to know and what you are supposed to do.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
I know some of us should be, must have used it and be playing around with it. How many of us have done that? Have used it since the last time we talked about RACI metrics? Have any of you?
No, sir.
Now, well done.
I've used RACI matrix before.
Before, within this boot camp or outside the boot camp?
Outside the boot camp, and then I think the first time you talked about it, I still went to just refresh my mind.
Okay. Did you have any challenge trying to use our template?
So I've not used yours. I've not used yours, but I know even if I download it, all I have to do is probably copy it and then paste it while retaining the source formatting. So in that way.
Anyway, that is just Excel document which you can create your own. All these things in Excel document, just get it formatted. But if you are new to why I'm providing template is that because all of us are not pros. Some might not be very good at Excel documents or formatting all these documents. You can use this one, but if you can create your own, whichever way. But another thing is that companies have their own templates. No matter how good you are, you respect them and use what they give you. Or if you feel that what they are giving you is not enough, then you can talk to them and they can adopt your own. My company, all the RACI metrics, all the stakeholder analysis document, I gave it to them and they are very happy to accept it. So that is it. So we have Joy Ekemezie. Okay, Joy is not here. Let's hear from Peace Ephraim.
Okay, good evening, Mr. Charles.
Yeah, good evening.
Please, my question is concerning that RACI metrics. If you want to assign roles now to your team members, let's take example with this our bootcamp, and you want to assign roles to your team members. No, we don't have any developer there. So how do we do it, sir?
You make do with what you have.
Okay.
You already know your roles. You already know what you have. So you make do with what you have.
Okay.
Sir Joy is here.
So, and the projects we are handling, do we have any need for developer there? Are we
No.
so why are we talking about developers? It's clearly stated out of scope. I'm not looking at it, but I can remember that they say we are not developing any new feature. What does that mean? We might not have need for fresh development. And some of the customization we might have might not really need that kind of developer input. So then I think piece you've been cleared, and
Sir Joy is here.
where have you been? You
Sir,
think we are
I was on mute. I was talking. I didn't know that you were not hearing.
okay, Joy? Then you are no longer on mute now.
So my question is, this RACI metrics, at what phase are we going to add it?
You know, when you need to understand roles and responsibilities, if you go to your this thing is there, you see use RACI metrics to clearly identify roles and responsibilities. If you go to let me, because some of you do not even use the documents we share. So let's look at this. Joy, have you taken your time? Can you see my screen?
No, sir, I'm not seeing your screen. Not yet.
Okay. Okay. Can you see it now?
Yes, sir.
So have you downloaded this document?
Yes, sir.
So where do we apply the metrics here?
Is at the initiation stage. Initiation stage.
Seriously?
Sir, where they said define roles and responsibility under initiation stage.
Good. So then why are you asking me again? Why should you apply it? I didn't answer this question. I wanted you to answer the question by yourself. Hmm?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right. Selimat Oyelami.
Sir, I was the one that asked the question related to preparing one's document in the group, and you've provided the answer that I was looking for when you mentioned it. That was when you said it is Excel, that you are not here to teach us Excel. Of course, I wasn't expecting you to teach us Excel, but I just want to know what was used. I don't want to just depend on what I think is right. I just needed the confirmation, which you provided. Then I got a little bit more confused. This is my second question, sir. I apologize in advance because my question might seem a little bit off. Reason being that I am not so good with Excel. I'm just learning it. So when you were treating this RACI matrix on your screen, I could see that you clicked on when you wanted to assign the rows, you clicked on a particular spot there, and there was a drop down. So the question I want to ask is that, is it possible to have drop down in Excel? That's why I said my question might be a little bit off. I don't know. So I want to know, maybe it is possible or there is a way to go around it so that
It is possible to have a drop down in Excel. It's possible to have a drop down in Word document. It's possible to do a lot. So let's see if we can do a drop down here. And you can let me quickly show. Like I said, we're not here to teach this Excel. But if you want me to teach you Excel, you need to pay me separately.
Yeah, you're already doing it, sir. Thank you, sir.
No, it's just to show her that I can do it.
Of course, there's no doubt. I'm very sure you can do it.
Okay, let's look at this. It's very, very simple, and there's a lot of things you can do. You see this cell here. If I want to create a drop down, there is you come to, I think you see here insert.
Yes.
It's very simple. Come down here, you see drop down.
Wow.
Once you click it, then it will give you this option.
Thank you, sir.
This is I will say maybe I'm trying to create project status. I will say not started. I come again. I see in progress. I will come here and use this color to differentiate it. I'll say in progress, and let me just I can use any of this color to show that it's in progress. And then I'll add another column here, another item here. I'll say completed. And I'll use this one to show green, meaning completed. And then I'll click done. So if I click, it should be here. So you see it here. I can come here and say project or tax status. Okay, and then let's use this and make sure that all this thing here, I'll copy it here. We then highlight all this, and then I'll paste. And then what did we do today? We've done this as well. We've done project brief. That's what we did yesterday.
Yes.
Okay, completed. Then develop project charter, not started. Assemble
Project sim.
We've done that.
Yes.
I know I've done that. Completed. Define roles and responsibility in progress. That is what we are doing. Because we are on the workshop to help you do it. So it's part of the work in progress. And then identify stakeholders and their expectation. Still work in progress. Initiate initial requirement gathering. Not started. And
full project plan.
Yeah, we didn't capture this, but the main thing is you've seen it. I can just copy it again and put it down here as well. That's it. So make sure you send me my money.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
So that is it. Like I said, we are not teaching Excel, but because it's not part of our scope. So, and yeah, so yeah, I think with this we can call it a night. So thank you everybody for listening, and hopefully tomorrow we're going to see again.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Tia. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good night, sir.
Bye.